Good day. I am back at the allotment, and today is very different day to last week. Last week was really hot and sunny, and today is really quite grey and overcast. Hasn't rained yet. We could really do with rain, but it hasn't rained yet. I think we're due some later in the week. Anyway, today I am going to be sowing peas direct in the ground. But these aren't our English garden pea. These are chickpeas. Now we grew chickpeas last year for the first time and had seen a number of other growers growing chickpeas, including Vivi. I think hers were eaten by mice at one point. But we were lucky enough last year. All of ours came up and they were a really interesting plant to grow. You don't get much of a harvest from them, but you do get an amazing fresh chickpea if you harvest them before they're actually dried. They are pretty intensive. You don't have to worry about growing them. Growing them is easy. But it's the harvesting of them and the shucking of the pods to get the chickpea out. And you get really tiny pods, and you only get one or two. You usually get two or one or three chickpeas per pod, but mainly two. However, they are fabulous because a fresh chickpea in a falafel is amazing. Richard did a falafel recipe last year with fresh chickpeas and they were fabulous. So we're growing them. Now, where did we get our chickpeas from? We got them from the organic aisle at Morrison's. I bought a pack of organic chickpeas last year and I sowed them in the ground on our lower plot, and they just grew. So this year I'm planting the remains of last year's purchase of dried chickpeas. I kept some for sowing this year. I sowed some last year and the rest we just rehydrated and ate during the year. We eat a lot of pulses, as I said in the beans video that came up yesterday or the day before. We eat a lot of beans because we're veggies. Chickpeas, yeah, it's such a joyous crop to grow because it's such a fabulous plant. It's really frondy and frilly. There's nothing quite like it. And then when I was shucking the pods, I found that the outside of the pod, which was a bit sort of fluffy, tasted quite citrusy, quite lemony. I rather like that as well. So you could shuck the pod and just lick your fingers, and yeah, that was rather nice. They don't need a lot to grow. You just put them in the ground, and they don't really want too good an earth, a soil rather. We have a plot just in front of me here, which is under the apple tree that I'm going to show you in a moment. And it's possibly the edge bed that has the worst, really worst of everything, because the apple tree roots go underneath this particular area and take out an awful lot of nutrients and an awful lot of moisture. Therefore, whatever we seem to put on top of this bed, whether it be manure, compost, whatever, it really seems to only last about a year. So as chickpeas don't need particularly good soil, they're quite happy with rough soil, I'm going to sow them about 2 inches deep. I'm going to sow them about 6 inches apart in rows, about 6 inches apart. And what you find is that unlike broad beans and unlike peas, the stickiness, because the leaves are slightly sticky and quite intertwined, and they hold each other together. So you shouldn't really need any staking. Last year, ours got to about 2 foot high, something like that. So yeah, there's nothing you need to do apart from water them, sow them and water them, and then harvest them. And as I say, that harvesting, it does take time. Anyway, I'm going to show you this plot in front of me now, or this bed rather, because we're on the top plot. If you've already seen the top plot, I'm going to show you the bed. This is the apple tree I was talking about, which takes a lot of the moisture and the nutrients. Our cheeky prints here. And this is the bed, hopefully putting you down gently, which I'm going to be sowing the chickpeas into. There's some remnants of bluebell leaves. There is a pansy, or viola, I think that is actually there. There's a plantain, I'm not sure if you can see, right at the back of the viola, there's a plantain which I'm leaving in. Some more bluebell leaves here, some calendula here, and then right at the end, the frilly stuff at the end there is nigella. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave everything in there and just give everything a bit of a deep hoe, and then I'm going to plant the seeds, as I say, 6 inches apart in rows 6 inches apart, so 6 by 6 and 2 inches deep. So I'm going to get on with that now. These are the chickpeas we're going to be sowing, just dried. Say these are organic. If you don't want to use organic, don't use organic. Just to show you, what I'm not doing is pressing the seed into the soil. I'm sort of creating the hole and letting the seed drop into the hole. So this is the chickpea bed sorted. The chickpeas are underneath the multi-purpose compost. I just put a top dressing on there, which I do on this bed because, as I said, there's quite a lot of nutrient draw from the apple tree. I've left the front for some lettuce and also possibly some more radish. There we are, job done for today, which I'm quite pleased about. I've had to put this on because it's really got quite chilly. The breeze has picked up quite a bit. I will give the multi-purpose compost a quick run over with a watering can now, and then tomorrow I will also give 2 watering cans to this space to make sure that there's plenty of moisture in the soil for the chickpeas to germinate. From that point, I will most probably water them a couple of times a week, unless it gets really, really hot. But they shouldn't need more than a couple of times a week. Anyway, there we are. Chickpeas in, and it's time to. I don't think I'm going to go home yet. Our brassicas, our Brussels sprouts here have gone to seed. I've left them for the bees, but actually it's now time. Can you hear that? That's the fox cubs. Don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, the brassicas it's time for them to come out. I've got some of the Croatian cabbage on the lower plot that I'll take out today. I'll leave these in the Brussels sprouts at the top here till tomorrow, and then I'll take the Portuguese cabbage out tomorrow as well. So a few jobs to do before I go home. Isn't there always? Isn't there always? Okay, thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you like what we do and hit the bell to get notifications. And I hope to see you soon. Not sure what the next video is. Yeah, not sure. Bye.